So basically the demo agenda is like this. First we will have the introduction. Okay, introduction of the students and the trainer. I'll give my introduction. Of course, most of you already completed your introduction. I'll give my introduction. Okay. After that, we'll see the course content. SAP S4 HANA Plan Maintenance Module course content. What topics we will be discussing during our training, and I will just give you overview of those topics, a high level of overview. Okay, and that too from a functional perspective. Will not be going into the system, that's for sure, but you will get a high level overview of what are the business processes are there, how they work, how they are handled in SAP. So those high level of overview you will get in this one. Okay. After that, we will see the documentation part. Like at the end of the training, I will provide you some documents. What are those documents? Okay. What are the types of documents? And I will show you some sample documents of those things. Okay. And after that, we will discuss on the training methodology, like when to have training, what is the suitable timings. Those part we will discuss in the end. So this is the demo agenda. Okay. So we'll start with the introduction. All of you already gave, most of you already gave introduction, right? So I'll give my introduction. Myself, Savan. Okay. I'm a BTech mechanical graduate. Okay. Overall, I have 15 years of experience. Okay. In this, 5 years into domain and 10 plus into SAP. Okay. In my domain, my industry experience, I was working as a maintenance planner. Okay, I used to manage technicians. I used to take care of all the maintenance activities, like whenever the machines are under breakdown. I used to coordinate with the production department or other departments to get them repaired, and preventive maintenance activities, and taking all those data, entering into system, and taking the reports at the month end or at the year end, and giving those reports to top management. So those kind of things I used to do in my industry. Okay. After that, I learned SAP. Then I moved to SAP Consulting. I am certified in SAP Plant Maintenance module. Okay. Coming to my SAP experience, so far I completed 5 end-to-end implementation projects. Other than that normal, what do you call that, support, rollout, those kind of projects. Okay, and this 5 end-to-end implementation projects includes one S4 HANA, S4 HANA end-to-end implementation, that is on premise. Okay, and these are the clients for which I implemented SAP. What you call that, Fortune 500 organizations. So these are the ones: General Electric, Sanofi, Milan Laboratories, Dr. Reddy's, some of the top-notch organizations. And these are the types of industries for which I implemented SAP Plant Maintenance module. Okay. Currently, I'm working as a solution architect in one of the leading IT organizations. And these are the countries I traveled as part of my, what do you call that, SAP journey. Okay. So this is my introduction. Let's move on. This is a plan maintenance module course content basically. Okay. First we will have the introduction to SAP. Okay. Then we will see the navigation in SAP. Of course, these two are for the beginners, freshers who never worked on SAP, who don't know what is SAP and all, for those people. But what I observed from the introduction is most of the people are already working on SAP. But still, anyhow, we will be covering this during our normal training. After that, we will go to PM overview, plant maintenance module introduction again. Then we will see the org structure. I advise all of you, please be on mute. Okay, we will have question and answer sessions, session in the end. Please be unmute yourself. Okay. Then we will see the org structure from the PM perspective. Okay, what is organization structure? All those are mapped into the system. Then we will see the master data of the plant maintenance module, all functional locations, equipments, bombs, all those stuff. Okay. After that, once the master data is completed, we will be moving on to the business processes. we'll start with regular maintenance, breakdown maintenance, preventive maintenance, refurbishment of spare parts, test equipment management, okay, and investment order process. And of course, we'll see some reports in the plant maintenance module, okay, standard reports, of course, those things. And then we will see the configuration part, okay, at the end. And of course, we will be discussing on the integration of PM with the other modules. So this is a high level course content, okay. First, we'll start with overview. I don't think this is required for all of you at this moment. What I observed from the introduction is most of you are already working on SAP. So I don't think this is required at this moment. Okay, like of course, anyhow, in the normal training, we will be covering this as one of the topic, like what is SAP, why SAP is implemented, why the organizations implement SAP, what are the pros and cons, what benefits they will get by using SAP as one of the ERP. Okay, so we will discuss that. Then we will go on to plant maintenance module introduction, like what is plant maintenance module is all about, why it is implemented, what functionalities are available in plant maintenance module. Once they implement, what benefits they will get out of it. All those basics we will be discussing in the PM mode. And of course, the navigation part, like how to log on, how to execute transactions, all those things. This is, of course, for the beginners who never worked on SAP. Okay. After this, we will go to the org structure. Okay. I assume, I believe most of you might be aware of these terms, like at least plant. Okay. I'll just give you overview level. Plant is like a location. We can call it as a location. Okay. So first I'll start with maintenance plant. A maintenance plant is like a location or a site where your equipments, your machines are located. Okay, so that is called maintenance plant. Now, planning plant means is a location or site where the people will sit and do the planning activities. So both can be same, or both can be different. Okay. So when we go to the training actual one, how these are created, how they are linked to each other, all those things we will discuss. Okay. Now the planner group refers to the person or a group of people responsible for planning activity, maintenance planning activities. So this is a high level overview. When we go to the actual training, we will see it in the system where they are available. If we want to create a new one, how to create, how they are linked to each other, all those things we will discuss. Okay. Once that is done, we will go for the master data. Okay. So in the master data, first we will start with the functional location. So in the functional location, we'll discuss like what is functional location, why the functional location has to be created. Okay. What are the types of different functional locations, what data you will maintain in the functional locations, all those things we'll discuss. So I'll briefly explain what is functional location. Let's say you have a organization. Okay, this organization is having a manufacturing unit. Okay, now this manufacturing unit, normally in any typical site or manufacturing plus a location site, you will have some departments, like let's say you have a production department. Okay, and you will have a let's say engineering department. Okay, you have a quality control department, and you will have a warehouse department. So different departments you will have. In those departments, you will have some machines. Suppose let's say if you take production department, to produce the products, you need some machines. So your machines are located in this particular place. So this place, this department, you can call it as a functional location. So functional location is the place where your equipments, your machines are located. So I'm just giving a high level of example, a simple example. So in your engineering department, you have some equipment, some machines, diesel generators, boilers, those kind of things. So engineering department can be considered as a functional location. Okay. So when we go to the training, we will see how to create these functional locations, why we need to create them, how they are created, what data you will maintain inside the functional locations, what are the different methods of creating the functional locations, all those things we will understand. Okay. Next, after that, we will go to the equipment. So what is equipment? Equipment is an individual machine. Okay, like your diesel generators, pumps, boilers. So those things can be called as individual machine is an equipment. Okay, so when we go to the training, how the equipments are created, how they are installed at functional location, what are the different types of equipments are there. Even in the organizations, vehicles also called as equipments. If you see in the organization, they will use cars, trucks to deliver the products to the customers, or they have buses to bring the employees for transportation. Okay, all those things are also called as equipments with category fleet. Okay, so you have PRTs, quality control department equipments. Different equipments are there. So what are the different equipment categories are there? How they are created? All those things we will discuss. Okay. Once that is done, we will move on to the BOMs, bill of material. So bill of material will give you the structure of a equipment. So every equipment will have inside some parts like spare parts like gasket, nuts, bolts, couplings, those things. So if you want to know the structure of that equipment, like how many what spare parts does it have, what are those quantities, like how many gaskets it has. So if you want to have that information, then we need to maintain the BOM, bill of material. So we will see what are these bill of materials, how these bill of materials are created. Okay, why we need to create these bill of materials. If you don't create, what will happen? Ultimately, once created, where they are used. So what are the different BOM categories we have? Equipment BOM, functional location BOM, assembly BOM, material BOM, all those things we will discuss. Okay, once that is done, we will go on to the work centers. The work center is nothing but a group of technicians, a person or a group of technicians responsible for maintenance activity. The previous one, planner group, is a person or group of people responsible for planning activities. But here the work center is the person responsible for maintenance activity. They are the actual technicians who does the repair activity. Okay, so what is this work center? Why the work centers have to be created? What data you will maintain in the work center? Once created, ultimately where it is assigned. So with the data maintained in the work center, what information we will be able to create, all those things we will discuss. Okay, so that is a work center. After that, we will go to the task list. Task list is like your plan basically. Suppose let's say you want to do preventive maintenance for a equipment. So when you do preventive maintenance, what activities you need to do? Okay, let's say I want to open the end cover of the machine, how to open the spare parts, how to apply the oil. So all those tasks are maintained in this task list. So task list consists of list of tasks you need to perform for any repair activity or even a preventive maintenance activity. So what are the different task list types are there? Okay, equipment task list, general task list, functional location task. Uh, just give me 1 minute. Okay, so those task list, different types of task list. So we will see how they are created, and ultimately the main motive is once they are created, where to where to use them, how they are used. That those things we will understand. Okay, and after that we will see the classification, equipment classification. Okay, so grouping, basically the classification is like grouping. Okay, in your company, let's say you have a lot of equipments, how to group them based on certain criteria. Like let's say I want to group all the diesel generators, I want to group all the pumps. So those things, so those classification, how it works in the system, we will understand. So this is a master data. Okay, once master data is done, we will move on to the business processes. First, we'll start with regular maintenance. Okay. So what is this regular maintenance? Regular maintenance means, let's say in your company you have a production department. Assume a scenario. Okay, in the production department they have some machines. Production is ongoing. Okay, let's say suddenly from one machine they observed some oil leakage, or they suddenly observe some abnormal noise coming from the equipment, from that machine. Of course, the machine is in working condition, it is in running condition, but still they observe some problem. So what they do, normally if they have problem, they will inform the engineering department. They will make a phone call. If they don't have a ERP system, what they do, they will call the engineering department on phone, inform them that the so and so machine is having some problem, please come and attend. Okay, so that's how normally happens. But here what happens is, once they have the system, any ERP or SAP system, what they do to inform that, they will create a notification. Okay, so in the notification they will enter like what is a machine, from what time it is having the problem, what problem it is having, that information they will enter. It's like giving a request. It's like informing and giving a request. So once they create this notification is received by the engineering department, maintenance department. So they will receive it. Using that notification, they will create a work order. Okay, work order is nothing but a maintenance order. Okay, and then once that work order is created, they will take the approval from the planner or supervisor, the persons, and then using that order, the technician will do the repair. Okay, and for this repair activity, if he needs any materials, any spare parts, those things he will take from the warehouse. Okay, and once the repair activity is completed, the concerned team in the engineering department, they will confirm that order. Confirming the order means they are entering the actual timings. Who did the repair activity? What is the time? At what time it started? At what time it is ended? All those information they will enter. And after that, they will complete the order, close the order, take technical completion. Once this is done, at the month end, finance people will do their activities. They will do the settlement, settle the cost, repair cost, and then they will do the business completion. So this is a end-to-end flow. So when we go to the training, we will see this, how to execute this in the system, end-to-end. Okay, so this is regular maintenance. So basically the regular maintenance is machine will have some problem, but still it will be under working condition. Okay, so that is our. After this, we will go to breakdown maintenance. Okay, so process more or less remains same. Only the difference is machine is now not in working condition anymore. It's total breakdown. Total machine stops totally. So that time, as usual, the production department or concerned department will inform the engineering department through notification. Of course, here they will use a different type of notification. Then the engineering department will receive that notification. Using that, they will create a work order, maintenance order. And using that order, after it is released and got approved, technician will do the repair activity. Okay. Once the repair activity is completed, the maintenance planner or supervisor will complete that order. They will do the confirmation and then take over, and finally month end the finance people will do their activities. So this is the breakdown maintenance. So how to execute this in the system end to end, we will see. To execute this end to end, what master data we need to have, what configuration data we need to have, all those things we will discuss. So this is the one. After this, we will go to the preventive maintenance. So preventive maintenance is like, let's say if you purchase any two-wheeler or a four-wheeler, what the showroom guy will tell you, he will tell you to ask for come for servicing, right? After 1 month from the date of purchase, or he may say after your car or two-wheeler, whatever it is, runs 1,000 kilometers, then he says you come for servicing. So more or less preventive maintenance also same. Even though your equipment, your machines are in working conditions, periodically they will do the maintenance activity to ensure that there are lesser breakdowns and machine works with the optimum condition, a good condition, not giving frequent breakdowns. So here in this preventive maintenance, we have three types: time-based, performance-based, and condition-based. So time-based means they define a time criteria, like they will say after every 1 month, we will do preventive maintenance. So preventive maintenance is like what? Cleaning the machine, opening it, applying oil, something, or changing the very critical parts. So those comes under preventive maintenance activity. So they define a criteria like for some machines they say after every 1 month we have to do. For some machines they decide after every 6 months. For some equipments they decide after every 1 year. After 1 year. So that is called time based. Okay. Next one is performance based. This is called as counter based. Okay. Counter based means like let's say they decide, let's say you have equipment, they decide after every 500 hours of machine runtime, they need to do some activity, preventive maintenance activity. Or let's say they have vehicles, they decide that let's say after every 10,000 kilometers of odometer, they want to change tires of the truck or whatever they are using in the organization. So that is called performance based or counter based. Next one is condition based. Condition based means they expect the machine to have certain conditions like certain temperature, certain pressure, certain thickness, those kind of things. If those conditions are not fulfilled, let's say the temperature, let's say they want to have 0 to let's say 80 degrees, let's assume a scenario. Now suddenly the temperature goes out of 80 on a particular day. So in that kind of scenarios, then they will go for preventive. So this is the types of preventive maintenance we have. So now, how to do this in the system? So here, once that particular time criteria or counter criteria is reached, system has to generate an order automatically. In the previous cases, the breakdown maintenance and the regular maintenance, they will create orders whenever it is required. Okay, but in case of preventive maintenance, it's a planned one. So system has to generate orders automatically once the particular criteria is reached. Okay, so for that, what we need to set up in the system? So we have to create a maintenance strategy. We have to create plans, maintenance plans, and using the plans, when we schedule it, system will automatically generate the order, preventive maintenance orders. So this, how to do this in the system, we need to understand. Okay. After the preventive maintenance, we will move on to the refurbishment of spare parts. Okay, so what is this refurbishment of spare parts? Normally in the industries, what happens is in some machines they have some this costly spare parts, expensive ones. Those they cannot procure every time. Suppose let's say they have a costly one, it got damaged. So what they do, instead of procuring the new one, what they do, they repair it, they refurbish it, and then they reuse it. Okay, so how to do that one we need to understand. Okay, instead of procuring the new one all the time, they try to use the existing ones after refurbishment. Okay, so that process, how to do, we will understand. Okay, after that we will move on to the test equipment management. Okay, so this test equipment management is having integration with QM module, PM and QM. Most of I observed some people are already working on QM. So you might have heard of this functionality called calibration inspection in your QM. So in PM, they call it as test equipment management. So what is this? Simple. It's more or less like a preventive maintenance only. In the quality department, they use some equipments to check the quality of the materials. So these equipments again periodically they will check whether it is working properly or not. It is giving the correct results or not. So that is called test equipment management. They will calibrate it. So how to do that calibration in the system, we need to understand. So here from QM side, we call it as calibration inspection. From PM side, they will call it as a test equipment management. So we will understand what is this test equipment management, what data we need to maintain, how the process flow works, how it is integrated with QM module, what are the integration points. So how to generate the inspection lot when the calibration order is created, what settings we need to make, all those things we will understand. Okay. After that, we will go to the investment order process. This is for the newly procured machines. So in the organizations, when they procure a new machine, new equipment, they will do the commissioning, installation. That time they need some labor, some manpower, they need some spare parts. So all those things, if you want to capture, then they will go for this investment order process. So here they will the finance team will allocate some budget for this installation and commissioning. They have to do that commissioning and installation within that budget only. So how that budgeting is done, if the allocated budget is crossed, what how the system will perform, all those things we will discuss the entire process flow. This is for the investment order process. So once that is done, we will see the some of the reports in the plant maintenance model. Of course, these are all standard reports, analytical reports, master data reports, transactional data reports. Okay, like orders of reports of orders, maintenance orders, reports of notifications. All those things we'll discuss, and also some miscellaneous reports, PMIS reports, plant maintenance information system reports. So these things we will see it in the system. How these reports are generated, how to analyze those reports, all those things we will discuss. Okay. After that, we will see some S4 HANA topics. So you all people might be knowing already. We have this S4 HANA. So in S4 HANA, they have come up with this theory. So we will have that theory discussion. What is this theory? How the apps works, how to execute the transactions using the apps, how to execute the functions using those apps. Okay, how different it is from the normal regular traditional GUI. Okay, all those things we will discuss on the theory part. Then we will see this new data migration tool LTMC. ECC was having that what do you call that LSMW, okay, to create the master data, to upload the data in mass and PDCs, right? Now in S4 HANA, they have come up with this new tool, LTMC. So how this LTMC works, how you can use this LTMC for data uploads, those things we'll discuss. And then BRF plus, this is for the forms printing. So we will see how this BRF plus works, how to use this BRF plus, business rule framework plus, we will understand. And also changes from ECC to S4 HANA with respect to PM module. Of course, there are minor changes. So those changes we will discuss. Okay. After that, we will go to the configuration part. You might be knowing as a consultant, we will be doing configuration. So once we understand the front end part, we will see the back end configuration. All the master data, technical object configuration, everything. Then preventive maintenance configuration, and then breakdown maintenance, regular maintenance, all that configuration we will discuss. Okay. Once that is done, we will see the integration of PM with other modules. Okay, like purchasing, procurement, MM, inventory management, IM. Okay, and then PP, and of course the most important one is FSU, maintenance costs. So that integration part we will discuss. How the integration works, what are the touch points, okay, all those things we will discuss. Okay, so once that is done, at the end of the training, I'll provide you 4 types of documents. Okay, I'll show you all those things. First is SAP certification documents. These are provided by SAP Germany. Then process flow documents. Okay, then config documents, and you will get soft copies of SAP PM press books. Okay, I'll show you one by one sample ones. Okay, first one is certification documents, right? So these are the ones you see here, sample one. These ones, you will get these ones. Whatever is there in these documents, we will discuss during training. But for your future reference, you will get these soft copies. All SAP plant maintenance certification docs. That is one thing. Next one is process flow documents. Whatever I show it in the system during training. Okay. Let's say I'll show you one. Let's say breakdown maintenance. Let's see how to do that in the system with SAP screenshots. So whatever I show it in the system, I prepared with step-by-step screenshots. So I'll provide you these documents also. So during your practice, it will become very easy for you. So you will get these documents for all the topics, all the functions. you will get this ones. Okay, so that is what do you call process flow documents. Next one is config documents. Again, they are with step-by-step screenshots. I'll show you one. This is the one. This is the one. You will get all these config documents with step-by-step screenshots. We will discuss all these things during training, but as a reference, you will get all these ones. So you will get all the config documents also. Okay, for all the topics. And the other one is, last one is SAP press books. You will get soft copies of the press books. This is the one. Suppose let's say this one. I'm just showing a sample one. This is the one. You will get this SAP press books. Okay. This will be for your future. Okay. We have all the old ones and new ones also. Okay. So basically, you will get all these 4 types of documents at the end of the training. Okay. Now coming to the training, it will take around 20 to 25 hours. This training will take around 20 to 25 hours. Okay. Normally, I'll adopt 2 types of training on weekdays, Monday to Friday, daily 1 hour. That is 1 hour. Another one is only on weekends, Saturday 2.5 hours and Sunday 2.5 hours. So it will become 5 hours per week. There are 2 methods. Okay, and the training will happen using S4 HANA server. We will not be using anymore that old ECC server. Okay, and also in S4 HANA, we will be using the latest 1909 version, latest one. Okay, using that only we will be having the training. Okay, and the training will happen using this GoToMeeting tool, the tool which we are using now. Okay, and you will get all the recorded videos of the sessions. When the training is happening, I'll record the sessions and I will be providing those recorded videos of those sessions. And you will be getting the IDs access, system access for 3 months. Okay, you need to check with that AccuSoft. You will be getting for 3 months to practice in the system. Okay. Now the method of training, this training will happen using real-time scenarios. This is not a end user or a core user training just to execute the transaction. It's not like that. It's a training for to become a consultant, SAP PM consultant. Okay, and the most important thing is I will be executing everything in the system during the training. This is a demo, so I just gave you a high level of overview. But in the real training, we will be logging onto the system. We will be executing everything end to end. All the business functions, all the master data objects, everything we will execute in the system. We will create and we will execute them in the system. Okay, and to execute that as a consultant, what configuration settings you need to make, what master data settings you need to make, all those things we will discuss. That's how the training will happen. Okay, and you will get interview questions list also if you want. Okay, and also if required for any persons, any people, I can guide you on your how to modify your resume, how to approach for the interviews. That if required, I can do that. Okay, so that is also there in the system. Okay, that's all. Thanks for your time. Thanks for the demo.